Well, hi, all my friends. I hope you're having a great Thursday. No, I didn't win the lottery. We had 124 interpreters put in $10, and it was nice for a day. It was nice to have a little hope for the day, and I had a lot of fun cheering up the interpreters at work. Just a lot of playful stuff yesterday with some of the interpreters. I was doing, I was remembering a interpreter friend of mine who passed away in 2007. His name was Dale Dial, and he was so funny. And his parents were deaf, and so unless you really understand deafness and deaf culture and everything, you won't understand what I'm talking about. But he would tell stories about growing up and what it was like. And if you have anybody that in your family that maybe is disabled or in some way, then maybe you can relate a little bit. Anyway, so just talking about him a lot and going over some of his stories that he would tell that people have forgotten. I would retell it, and using my coda voice narrative, if you will. And so people enjoyed that. And so anyway, listen, I would like prayers to go out for the Houston, Texas, Corpus Christi, Lake Charles area, because there's a huge hurricane coming their way. And I really hope that people are able to, they've got 24 hours to protect their families. It's going to be a major, major storm. After 25 years of Hurricane Andrew, which was just devastating. People died. So, the destruction was horrific. And so, you know, Hurricane Andrew killed like 24 people at least, if not more. I don't know. But anyway, now we've got an active shooter situation in Charleston. Uh-oh. So anyway, I hope the police are able to catch him. It's always something, right? It's always that. Okay, hey, we're in the book of Daniel, so do please remember to bring the Lord into your space. When hearing God's word, make sure you come at it in a reverent, with reverence, so that the Lord can work and his Holy Spirit can work through the word that you're listening and talk to your heart and you know, supernaturally, spiritually touch you, okay? So we'll get in chapter 2 in just a second. What's something else I wanted to, oh yeah. Okay, so I did a lot of work when it comes to researching the eunuch, and that's why I started this channel, is to answer some questions about the Bible. And oh shucks, okay, so just briefly, a lot of things that are in our Bible, stories that were written, like say, let's just take Abraham for example, historically, and also culturally, and in the writing stylistic of that time, were written in just a different way than we would do today. It is most likely that 2 million people did not cross over the Red Sea. Okay, because if you think reasonably, you know that the tent, that God's temple would have been huge, and the outer court would have been, you know, huge to accommodate all of those people. There's just not enough evidence that shows that they were there, that many people were there. However, there in Turkey, in Syria, not Syria, that's not right either. Wherever Mount Ararat is, okay, that part of the country in the east there, there is a rock that's split in two that you can actually see. You can actually see a altar of where the golden calf was. You can see these things, okay? But there's not enough evidence to show that there was 2 million people, okay? So, you know, so not that things were embellished necessarily, but things were stylistically written. So Abraham, you know, taking care of camels, for example, was a camel herder, that they weren't domesticated until many, many years after Abraham. So he probably, you know, was somebody that took care of either, you know, donkeys or sheep or something like that, okay? But by the time it was written about, then camels had been domesticated, so they wrote about, you know, that he was a herder of camels, because that was, you know, shown a significance of domesticated animals, okay, at that time. And you know, so just have to realize that it's an inspired word, but it's not historically accurate all the time either. So please, you know, other people say, well, if it's not historic, then it's not factual. Well, that's just not true, okay? These books were preserved for all of these years for a reason, okay? And God has had a hand in it, okay? So, anyway, that's what I wanted to mention this morning. Something that R.C. Wilkerson had sent out, that a article that he receives, and I read that this morning, and I said, yeah, you know, that my subscribers should know this also. Not only is it celestial, spiritual, and it shouldn't be always taken literally, okay? Those are the reasons why, okay? That historically, there are some things that are truths, but some things that are not necessarily, or at least that we haven't been able to prove yet, okay? All right, so chapter 2 of Daniel. Now we've got Nebuchadnezzar's dream, Daniel's advancement. And what else was I going to say? Did I just say about the eunuchs? I did a lot of videos in the beginning of my channel, and so please check that out to see why I said what I said yesterday about the eunuch. And Andrea, I left you a comment to help you a little bit, okay, on one of your comments that you left me yesterday, so I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, just, you know, just ask me, and I will give you time and answer them. But please look at all that stuff and then get back to me, okay? All right. Okay, so in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewithin his spirit was troubled, and his sleep broke from him, so he couldn't sleep. Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans to show the king his dreams. And so they came, they stood before the king. And the king said unto them, I've dreamed a dream, and my spirit's troubled to know the dream. I want to understand it. So they spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. And the king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me, and if you will not make it known to me the dream with the interpretation thereof, you shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. And if you show the dream and the interpretation thereof, you will receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. The king answered and said, I know of certainty that you would gain the time, because you see the thing is gone from me. But if you will not make known to me the dream, there is but one decree for you have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that you can show me the interpretation thereof. And the Chaldeans answered before the king and said, There's not a man on earth that can show the king the matter before there is no king, lord, nor ruler that asks such a thing at any musician and astrologer or Chaldean. And it is a rare thing that the king requireth, that there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh. And for the cause of the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and that they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain as well. Okay? And so, because Daniel was an interpreter of dreams. So then Daniel answered with the counsel wisdom to Arioch, Arioch, and there's some vowel marks above that name, okay? Captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. And he answered and said to I don't know how to say his name, Arioch, okay, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? And then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. So then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah and Mishael and Azariah, his companions, and they would desire mercies of God of heaven concerning the secret. And Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. And then there was a secret revealed unto Daniel in the night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. And Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for whose wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the time and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom to the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. I thank thee and praise thee, O God, O thou God of my fathers, who hath given me wisdom and might, and has been made known unto me, now that we desire of thee, for thou hast now made known unto us the king matter. Therefore Daniel went into Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon, and he went and said unto him, Destroy the wise men of Babylon, bring me in before the king, and I will show the king the interpretation. Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah that will make known unto the king the interpretation. And the king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, right? Okay. And art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and interpretation thereof? Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, The secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men and astrologers and magicians and soothsayers show unto the king. But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts come into thy mind upon thy bed, that thou shalt come to pass hereafter, that he that revealeth secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass. I'm going to stop right here because I've gone way too far, and I will continue in my next video finishing the dream. Okay, interpretation. Have a good day. Bye-bye.